The sun over Barcelona didn't just shine today. It burned down like a stage light on gladiators who walked out of the tunnel knowing this wasn't just a race, it was a reckoning. Catalunya 2025 wasn't about points, it wasn't about records, it wasn't even about Ducati's kingdom or KTM's uprising. This one was blood, family, betrayal, mercy, and power, all twisted into 24 laps where the world saw something bigger than sport. They call it racing, but what went down today was theater in its most violent, most poetic form. Marc Marquez had a chance to crush his younger brother Alex, right, to extend a streak of dominance the modern era may never see again, to silence the talkers who keep barking about bikes and setups and lucky breaks. But here's the thing. Marc didn't crush Alex. He let him breathe. He let him live in that spotlight. He held the knife. He pressed it against Alex's chest lap after lap, and instead of pushing it in, he pulled it back and smiled. That's not defeat. That's control at a level mortals can't even imagine. Go back to lap 1. Lights out, and the number 93 does what he always does. Gets the jump, takes turn 1 like it belongs to him, sets the tone. But instead of detonating the field immediately, Marc slows the whole damn race down. He's not running, he's toying. He saves rubber, backs the field, dictates rhythm like a conductor telling the orchestra when to breathe. Behind him, Alex is coiled up. KTM boys Pedro Acosta and Enea Bastianini licking their lips, waiting for Marc to miscalculate. But here's the problem. Marc doesn't miscalculate. When he goes slow, it's because he wants to. When he goes fast, it's because he decides. The track is his chessboard, the bike his blade. He gave Alex space to smell opportunity, then watched. By lap 7, Alex strikes. That number 73 lunges, gets the pass, raises the pace. Most brothers would fight back immediately. Marc doesn't. He stays on him, wheels almost touching, like a shadow that refuses to vanish. Every lap through turns 16, 17, 20, and 21, you could see it. Marc had the inside lines covered, the exits sharper, the throttle ready. Any other rider, he would have eaten alive. He's ended careers from that close. He's crushed men's souls from less. But today, he didn't do it. He sat there, breathing on Alex's neck, reminding him who allowed him to lead. That's not losing. That's dominance in disguise. People in the stands and fools online will spin it. Marc's streak is over. They'll write headlines about Alex conquering his brother. But those who watched with eyes open know the truth. Marc gave it. He handed his blood the keys to Catalunya, because if history was going to mark the end of his win streak, it wasn't going to be Pedro, it wasn't going to be Pecco, it wasn't going to be Enea. No, it was going to be his brother, his family, the one man Marc can bleed for without regret. That's gangster logic. That's old world honor. Now let's talk about the beast, because Enea Bastianini did what he always does. Start steady, finish like a monster rising from the ocean floor. He's the nightmare Marc can't shake. Not because Enea beats him, but because Enea fights with the same late race savagery Marc himself built his empire on. Watch those final 10 laps. Enea carves past Pedro, punishes Acosta for gambling on that soft rear, and keeps clawing toward the Marquez brothers. He doesn't get there, but he leaves a scar. You know Marc feels it. He knows that if anyone is going to turn his Sundays into nightmares, it's the beast. Marc respects that, but he doesn't fear it. Fear is for the rest of the grid. Respect is for warriors. And Pecco, man, talk about resurrection. 2 days ago, people were burying him, saying Catalunya was going to be another graveyard where his career sank deeper. He rode Friday like a stranger to himself. Saturday gave him no mercy. But Sunday, he fought back. He wasn't up there with the brothers, but he dragged that Ducati into a fight it didn't deserve. That's the difference between a champion and a pretender. Even when the crown slips, the king doesn't stop swinging. Pecco showed he isn't dead, not yet. But the problem is simple. This grid doesn't wait for your redemption. Marc doesn't slow down. Enea doesn't forgive. Acosta doesn't hesitate. Pecco's comeback is beautiful, but it's fragile. And fragility doesn't last in this world. The surprise of the day? Luca Marini. People wrote him off, called him inconsistent, said he's just living in Valentino's shadow. But today he showed teeth. He didn't win, but he fought like he belonged. When a guy like Luca starts putting pressure on midfielders, the hierarchy shifts. It may not shake Marc's throne, but it tells the others. The second wave is coming. And in a war this bloody, even small shifts matter. Then there's Franco Morbidelli. Watching him today was like seeing Marco Simoncelli's ghost ride again. Not the results, but the mentality. Aggressive, reckless, unapologetic. He hit, he shoved, he went wide, he ruined lines, he made enemies. Every corner he looked like he was daring someone to touch him back. That's dangerous, but it's also intoxicating. You could feel the crowd split, half cursing him, half smiling because chaos is part of racing's soul. Simoncelli was the same. He didn't just race, he disrupted. And Morbidelli today carried that torch, for better or worse. But let's not pretend this race belonged to anyone except the Marquez bloodline. Marc was in control from lap 1 to lap 24, even when Alex led. This wasn't a power shift, it was a coronation gifted. The way Marc stayed glued on Alex's wheel, the way he measured every breaking point, the way he never once looked vulnerable, it told you everything. Marc could have killed that dream. He chose not to. Because here's the rawest truth. Marc doesn't want history to remember his streak ending at the hands of someone random. He wanted it to end in Catalunya, in front of his people, by his brother's hand. That's not defeat. That's design. You can call Alex the winner, and yes, he lifted the trophy. But dig deeper and you'll see what really happened. Marc is the most loyal wingman the sport has ever seen. Today, he proved that his power isn't just in destroying others, but in deciding when not to. That's God-level control. When you're so strong you can gift victories without losing respect, that's when you know the game is yours. Rossi fans might flinch at this, but remember, Marc showed mercy even back in the day. He toyed with Rossi at times, pulled back when he could have ended the old man worse. Today, he showed the same mercy to Alex. It's not weakness. It's power draped in kindness. That's scarier than domination, because it means Marc doesn't just own his opponents, he owns fate itself. And think about the consequences. By letting Alex win, Marc delays his title clinch. He could have walked into Misano with math already on his side, with the crown dangling. Now it stretches to Japan. Do you understand what that means? Marc doesn't just race for numbers, he races for theater. He wants his story to climax on bigger stages. He wants the world talking, speculating, doubting, and then he wants to shut them all up again. This is narrative warfare. This is chess with blood and gasoline. Every rider out there today knew it too. Watch their body language post-race. No one's celebrating Alex like they truly believe he beat Marc clean. They congratulate him, respect him, clap him, but the way their eyes cut toward Marc tells you everything. They know, they saw, they felt the shadow. They understand that when the number 93 is on your tail like that, victory only comes if he permits it. That's why the paddock still bows, even when the streak is technically over. Because no one beat Marc today. Catalunya was Marc's story. Alex was just the chosen character. And that's why, years from now, people won't talk about Alex winning as much as they'll talk about Marc giving. They'll remember the image of Marc's front wheel almost inside Alex's swing arm, lap after lap, and the fact that the kill never came. They'll remember the control. They'll remember the mercy. They'll remember that even in supposed defeat, Marc walked out taller. Because the truth is ugly but simple. No one can beat Marc. Catalunya today was a different story, and Marc already told the world he didn't want his brother to lose in Catalunya. That's respect. That's love. That's OG gangster. No one can beat Marc. Catalunya today was different story, and Marc already mentioned he don't want his brother to lose in Catalunya. Marc gained respect.